He says it's like this story where there's this kid named Frank who lives on this ranch, and all he's ever wanted to do is be an actor. He does not want to grow up to be like his old man, because the old man doesn't listen to him. And the old man he doesn't like him. He doesn't like the old man. And he keeps saying to him, I wish you would just give me some money so I could go start my career. You know I'm never going to be a farmer. I'm never going to do what you do. And finally his dad says, look, you're in the will. And when I die, you can take your money and you can sell your part of the ranch. You know, your brother's going to get half and you're going to get half. Do what you want at that time. And the fight gets pretty vicious, and at one point Frank says, I wish you were dead right now. And his father says, you don't mean that. And he goes, oh yes I do. Your money means more to me than you. And the next morning Frank is pleased to see that his dad has put up some acres for sale. And in fact he gets a pretty good price. And not too long later Frank has $300,000. And he takes it and he moves to Los Angeles, and he finds that he likes having money. And he buys a nice car. He starts hosting big parties with his friends. They have call girls coming in. There's drugs. And it's going really great. And he really likes his life. And he's not making any movement forward into becoming an actor. And eventually the money runs out. And Frank, he has to sell everything he has. He has to sell that fancy car he bought. And pretty soon, now he can't go back to his dad for more money. He's spent it all. And what he ends up doing is he moves into this little apartment where there's a bunch of guys sharing the rent with what little money they have coming in. And they actually have to rotate through who sleeps where based on their shifts. And he's hungry, and he's out of cash, and he's sold everything he has, pretty much. And he ends up getting this job working on the docks. And he has to go at 4 a.m, and he helps get the boats ready for going out to fish. And one morning, he's so hungry, the last thing he had to eat was this tamale at this little party this woman in the apartment complex had. But he's so hungry that he catches himself looking in the chum bucket. A bunch of leftover fish parts that they use to bring in the fish, and he's wondering to himself, what would that taste like? And he realizes, why am I doing this? I messed up, and I know things will never be the same with my dad. But he treats the migrant workers better than I'm being treated right now. And if I went home there, maybe he'd just give me a job, and I could live out there, and I could eat with the guys there, and I don't have to be his son exactly, but I could be there at least. And so he calls, and his dad, for whatever frustrating reason, has never gotten a cell phone, and he leaves a message for him on the answering machine saying, Dad, I'm coming home, and I'm not assuming anything. I'm not saying I can step back into the family, but I've got a Greyhound ticket today, and if you could just give me a job, man, that would be enough. And he gets on the bus, and the bus starts going, and about halfway between home and Los Angeles, in Bakersfield, the bus pulls over, and he gets out of the bus, and there in the parking lot, he sees his dad. And his dad comes over and grabs him and hugs him and says, when I got your message, I dropped everything, I jumped in the car, and I came down here to get you. And he takes his son, and they get in the car, and they start to drive home. And the son keeps looking over at his dad and realizing how sweet it is to be with his father, and how much his father loves him, and that he can trust him, and that he's a man who keeps his word. And he already feels overwhelmed with emotion, but when they get to the house, his dad must have called everyone he knew, because there's an enormous party. And even though it's been 3 years since he left, all his old friends are there. his dad's friends. They've decked out the house for a party. And he's amazed and humbled by this, and they start to have this party. Now, at the same time, his older brother's out in the field, and he's been there for 3 years working hard. He hasn't wasted his money. And he asks one of the workers there, Humberto, he says, "What's going on?" And he says, "Well, your brother's come back, and your dad's excited. He keeps saying, it's like he was dead, but now he's alive. And we're having this big celebration." And the brother says, "I'm not going in." And when the old man hears it, he goes out into the field and he takes his son's hands and he says, "Why won't you come in?" And he says, "I can't believe you're celebrating him. He told you he wished you were dead. He took $300,000 and he moved to Los Angeles and he wasted it on whores. And now he comes back and you're having a party? Have you yelled at him yet even? You're just saying you're glad he's here. What about all the bad, horrible things he's done?" And the father says, "Look, your brother, it was like he was dead to us, and now he's alive. It's like he was lost, but now he's found again. We must celebrate. We have to celebrate that your brother has come home."